C10, dude, if you had all tag 10, this is actually why I asked you if you would care, because do you find it interesting that Tag, even though it is a smaller company, it's the newest company, Tag 10s are starting to sell kind of at PSA 10 prices, or in some cases even more.
Yeah, because fuck me, man. All right, where have we been hearing this? Oh shit, this is what I've been preaching for about the beginning of the year. I've been preaching and I've been saying this, like, hey, if you guys are gonna grade with someone, consider grading with Tag for multiple reasons. One, if you're new into the hobby and you want to get into grading, the best thing that you can do is go ahead and grade with Tag, because it can be a fantastic tool to teach you how to grade, what to look for. So that way, right now, whenever the hobby is hot and you can source cards, or you want to source cards and you want to send some cards to grade, you know what to look for. It will teach you, it will give you feedback. You're basically doing homework for grading. If you want to really get good at grading, especially if you think Pokemon or whatever TCG you're into is going to stay here for the long one, get good with grading. Grading is going to matter. Grading is going to be a big part of the hobby, no matter if you're a binder copy purist, a raw card purist. I disagree. I think grading is going to be the only way people are really going to collect, because these companies are going to have to start really authenticating cards. It's getting very popular. People are printing out fakes. Technology is getting better. AI is getting better. So there's a good possibility that fakes can go ahead and get graded by any grading company. Or maybe they won't get graded, and that's the only way that you'll know that you'll be able to buy an actual authentic card, especially if you're going to be throwing some real huge money on it. So tag grading can be used as a tool. That's one of the things I've been preaching about. For collectors, personally, I think they look the best. They have the best look. Like, you can actually see the card and really appreciate it if you're a true collector. But if you're not a collector, and you're a scalper, you're an investor, or whatever you want to call yourself, and you want to increase the value of your collection by grading cards and then selling them, we've been saying, myself and other content creators like Tag Show, like Heart Attack EX, we've been preaching, we've been saying that tag slabs sell for PSA prices. Now, I understand right now where we're at with tag grading pausing other submissions, and PSA telling you, yeah, you're gonna wait a fuckload of time and you're still gonna have to pay us more, but we will take your card right now. We will still take your card. We got one that's pausing and one that's like, yeah, pay us more so you can wait longer. I understand both sides, but grading is really gonna matter, and it's very topical. But look, if you're going to go ahead and grade with Tag, there's still moves that you can do. I still believe that you can go ahead and grade right now, probably some vintage cards. Don't worry so much about the modern era, or the hyper modern, because currently the hyper modern era, we're talking mostly about the Mega Evolution era. This could be our, junk wax card era, whatever you want to say, whatever people want to call it. And for multiple reasons. But the biggest reason is for the Mega Evolution era, we finally started seeing something in the hobby where a one Japanese set goes for an English PSA. PSA. My bad, dude. I'm still wrapped up about this. But yeah, a Japanese set goes into a English set. It's no longer two Japanese sets to one English set. It's a 1-for-1. Why? Well, it seems like Pokemon is really trying to print as much product as possible for the people to get, and we're gobbling that shit up because it's still hard to find, right? But it makes sense why Pokemon will go ahead and do a 1-for-1 set so they can go ahead and print those sets longer, do more copies for the general consumers to go ahead and buy at MSRP to meet the demand. So what does that mean? We're gonna get a lot of people are going to be collecting a lot of the same chase cards. Their collection is going to look exactly the same. People are going to be collecting right now the Ascended Heroes. People are going to be focusing on like the chases for Perfect Order, for what are we? Yeah, Perfect Order. What's the other one? Oh, Chaos Rising. Oh yeah, fucking it's right there, bro. For Chaos Rising and now Pitch Black. People are going to be collecting the same amount of cards. Whenever they exit out, because they're going to eventually exit out, a lot of these cards are going to be going out to true collectors. And if you're going to be in the long term, I do think that you guys should be grading for the potential that big money loves to jump into the hobby for the high end, low population kind of shit. It happened already with the Burger Chew, 20 grand for a regular card, a black label card, right? On the Burger Chew. And that started something crazy. And then I think the next crazy thing is the black label. Still, black labels keep doing the amazing thing, right? Like low population stuff matters. But the Bobo Mew just sold for $250,000, a black label quarter Mew. This is a hyper modern card. Of these Bubble Mews get graded with Beckett and get the black label, people are going to be chasing the $250,000, especially with what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? So that's going to start a different kind of trend. But you know who else can go ahead and do that? That's going to be Tag Grading. Tag Grading can go ahead and do that because low population, high end stuff for Tag auctions off really, really well. We talked about one of the Gengars. We went ahead and talked about, I believe, one of the first base Charizards. There's been multiple occasions where a tag card has gone for more than the PSA counterpart. And then I do believe that the pristine 10s, once the pristine 10s and tags start going for the same amount in black label, black value money, that's whenever you're really going to start seeing tag grading up. People grading with tag a lot more because the data, the dig report is really going to back it up. We talked about how tag does a 1,000 point system. If you're grading, you should absolutely go ahead and grade with that. Go ahead and grade with tag using the 1,000 point system, especially for the vintage stuff. Like if you have any vintage stuff, do the 1,000 point system. It should be defaulted. Like it should be your rule. Now, whenever you're going with modern, hyper modern start, the 1,000 point system should really be used on those chase cards, on promo cards. The reason why, the higher that you get to the pristine score, or the higher that you get the 1,000, the perfect copy, that's going to be a game changer. Look, the concept of a perfect card is going to be insane. Whenever we're talking about high-end chase card. If there is a Bubble Mew that is a 1,000 point like card, a perfect card, that thing is gonna auction off more than the black label one. Like if it's gonna be like people that want to control the market, who want to make tag one of the main players, they will pay a lot of money to go ahead and buy the perfect card like that. Make sure that it doesn't make sense, just because data is going to go ahead and back that up. That's the direction that we're going to in the hobby. As more of this new modern stuff, the junk wax era comes, whenever it comes to grading, people are going to want to collect the best of the best, the true pop of one kind of stuff, the perfect cards. If you can't get the perfect cards, because vintage stuff is going to be insane. We're going to go ahead and use one of the examples from one of the Tag Shill's latest video. He's been a constant subscriber. He's been a subscriber for the channel for a long time, a fan, but he's someone that me and him, we talk about tag rating. And he went ahead and did one of his submissions, modern. He did vintage. He did random stuff, Lorcana. He's grading with tag because he really believes in it. His last video was pretty good. He sent a lot of vintage stuff, and I believe when it comes to vintage is going to be the way to go, especially with tag rating. Like, you'll have more to gain. You have more to gain and nothing to lose. Look, yeah, $59 entry price is not the prettiest sign, but there's no upcharge. There's no upcharge for vintage. So even if you can get a 9, you're making a $300 card to upwards of 1,000 with no upcharge. That's already you just grading vintage. That's already potentially like a percentage range. Like you could definitely win big with no upcharge. Yeah, PSA might have a cheaper entry price per card, but that upcharge, it really kills margins. You're gonna get hit by it, right? But whenever it comes to tag, let me get the main card where I see this with tag chill submission is gonna be the Sabrina's Gengar. So he submitted the Sabrina's Gengar. Raw value goes for around $400. It got graded as a 9. 9s go for $1.6, $1,600. A 9 goes for around $1,600. So he just made a $400 card into a $1,600 card with no upcharge. He went ahead and tripled the value of that card, for 50, or actually he did it whenever the submissions were going for $19. That's huge. But I still think you can command a bigger price. Look, a 9 goes for around $1,600 and a 10 goes for around $19,000. Why? Because there's only like around 40 copies, 10s out there recorded, like around 40 copies. So this is really low pop shit. Whenever you look at the tag grading population report, there's no 10s right now for the Sabrina Gengar. There's no 10s. There's only 9 9s. Now, this is where I think Tag Chill kind of fucked up, and I hope he really rethinks about it after maybe watching this video. You have to resubmit that card or get the score behind that card. Why? Look, the highest graded Tag 9 is going to be around 4. It had the score of 944. That is going to be the highest score. And then the lowest score is 931. We already know that you have a 9. Get the score behind that, because if you can get anything higher than the 944, you could have the most expensive Sabrina Gengar card out there at the moment, right? And this is assuming that people are going to be too scared to crack their 9s and send with grade with tag, because people are, they're scared of potentially losing out. But it's a fantastic way to use it as a tool, get a score, to really kind of use it as negotiating powers. Because a 10 turns into a tag 10, the lowest score required is a 950. So you still have 950 and above for a Sabrina's Gengar is going to be extremely tough. It's going to be hard to get. I don't know if it's going to be possible, just because on the holo, there's so much dead holo, which if anything happens, it's a 20-year card. If there's a little scratch, you're gonna be able to fit. You're gonna be able to see it. The AI is gonna go ahead and pick that shit up every single time. I think the Tag's AI system is way better than any kind of fixers, like card fixers or card restorations, and I don't think these guys are really restoring cards and submitting with tag and beating AI. I don't think they're at that level yet. I don't think if there's anyone at that level, period. So card restorations to get the higher score is kind of out of the table. So if you have the best card, the best Sabrina Gengar, getting over 950 points is going to be difficult. But if you can get anything over 944, there's still plenty of points to go to reach and grab the #1 card. I think you absolutely should, man. Now, let's say tag implodes, right? Because I do possibly see a scenario where tag does implode because it's AI grading, right? And right now there's a big movement outside of Pokemon where AI is not popular. Data centers are kind of coming out. It's taking too many natural resources. People are speaking out. We don't want this, but the government are literally shoving this shit down our throat. They're taking more resources and making life more expensive for us outside, of the hobby. So everyone's like, oh, fuck data centers, fuck AI. Oh, who does AI grading? Tag. So, I can see a scenario where if we go into a recession, It's going to be bad for the Pokemon market, but I also think it's going to be very, very bad for tag grading. I think it could be horrific where public opinion will hate everything about AI. I'm just saying that. There's a scenario where that happens. And all of a sudden, PSA remains king, or Beckett, or whatever other grading company. What are they going to do? Well, they can't say they're doing AI grading. This is going to be subjective people grading, the real spirit of the hobby, right? That's going to be the reason behind PSA supremacy. If you have a high 9, you can always try to regrade with Beckett. You can always try to go ahead and regrade with whatever company has the new black label in order to have the most expensive card in the hobby. So, whenever we're talking about this, I guess I'm back on my, hey, you should grade with tag bullshit. But honestly, the best way to do it is if you have vintage cards, you should really consider grading with tag. Look, using Tag Chill's Sabrina Gengars, for example, the difference between a 10, which is $20,000, to a 9, which is $1,700, is significant. But a tag 9 with the highest possible grade can go ahead and cover up the difference. It might not be $2,700 more. You can go ahead and negotiate for $25, for $30 to close the gap to that 10, because there's nothing there. There's nothing out there. Population really starts mattering whenever you grade with tag and you have data to back that shit up. And if you want to stay in the hobby and have expensive cards they're going to resell later, because wealthy people like to spend big money on low population cards because they want to be better than you. That's what you want to have. That if you want to retire, if you want to make big moves and retire and get out of this hobby, you have to have the low population shit. This is where like the market right now, the Pokemon market is broken. Hyper modern, the new set, best set mentality is completely broken. There's no reason why these cards should be going for more than vintage cards. If you're smarter than the newest collectors, and if you really want to take advantage of that, go with that. Everyone's in the new hyper modern era, new set, best set, really start attacking vintage. I think right now, I'll probably say that vintage is probably extremely like underpriced, but not underpriced in the sense of the high-end stuff. The high-end stuff, that's insane. People have caught on. But there's still possibly a lot of moves that you can do by grading vintage. I think, Tag Chill, he's on the right track by grading vintage. If you see his video, a lot of his stuff is vintage stuff. And then, the modern, and then he got cooked on modern. Oh, and the Arcana. I mean, I don't know about Disney, bro, but I don't know. I mean, I get it, but I wouldn't do Disney. I'm not trying to judge you, bro, but I'm like, it's a weird time. So if you made it this far, really consider subscribing, and let's just see where it goes. Outside from that, I hope you guys had a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.